Hello class, today we're going to be working with pastels. So if you don't, sorry I was looking at the camera. If you don't have any pastels, you may want to grab some, or you're welcome to borrow the set that we have here on campus. This is just a really old set from the 90s of conceptual drawings for the Opry Mills mall before it was built. So today, when we're working with pastels, a lot of times you use pastels to just show conceptually ideas that you're wanting to explore with, when you're initially starting to design. So this would be an example where the color doesn't necessarily matter. You're just applying enough color to really rough sketches to give someone an idea of what the space is going to look like. I always like to say that you're bringing like spirit or life to the drawing. So again, here, it's not necessarily saying that this abstract installation, that this thread is going to be multicolor, but it's showing you the potential of what it possibly could be. So you'll also notice that it's not solid. There's a lot of just scribbled lines. And again, you're selling an idea. Let me show you one more example. We have a bench in here somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. So again, here's the top of the bench in plan view, and here it is in elevation. So they're just showing what those materials could be and how to best represent that. Okay. So today we're going to work on two different renderings. You're going to do multiples of each of these, and I'm going to show you and talk through how each of these are to be, how you start with each of these. I'm going to double check my camera every so often just to make sure that we're still in the right frame. These are really messy, so work on a surface that you can clean. Getting this all lined up so that you can see it. There we go. Okay. Lined up good? Yes. So this is just a flat elevation, and we're going to address this as if we don't know where our light source is. So again, you want to put an arrow signifying that our light is going to be coming from this direction. And when you do that, then basically you're only going to be applying color to the shadow side. So on these pots, like these are very chalky, so they're hard to stay in line, and that's okay. I'm only putting color on the side where there's a shadow. And I'm not going to do everything on here just because it'll take too long. Again, with these columns, I'm putting the color on the shadow side. Now what I'm going to want to do is then take a lighter color. I'm using like a yellow ochre color here now. And I'm pulling through that dark color over to the other side. And that is what is making it look a little more gradient and three-dimensional, so that it's not just all dark or flat in color. So again, and I'm sorry this camera is bouncing, but this table is not very sturdy. I'm going to add my greens. I'm going to add the dark green to the left side and underneath, because that is where my shadows are being caught. My light's coming over. My light's going to get caught on the top of these. And then I'm going to use a lighter green to kind of bring in and break up. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. You don't necessarily want to keep this in you don't necessarily want to keep everything in line, because then it won't look as conceptual as it needs to be. So when you're doing the windows, you're going to address these windows just like you have in every other rendering that we've done so far. So the dark side is going to have this upside down L. And then I'm going to scrub just the corner a little bit. So all these windows, all these openings are windows except for where the people are, and this is like into a store. So imagine this is the mall and these are the facades of the stores. So again, all these windows that have glass, And then you're gonna take a white and literally just scrub over, break that up. You don't have to cover everything. You don't want it to look too perfect. So we don't want to have this perfect blue L shape. So I'm going to really brush this up. And then you're going to gently blow. So you can see how that starts to look really conceptual. With the signage, again, you don't really know what the material is. So we'll put some lights and some darks. Blend that in. Same thing with these beams. We're going to put dark on the underside. I'm going to use some yellow ochre to blend, and I'm not worried about staying in line with those. Again, nothing has to look perfect because this is just selling a conceptual idea. Your roof is slanted back, so I'm going to start by putting the color of my roof on the back, and then I'm going to use a neutral color and pick up that color and bring it down. So again, I'm just trying to sell the conceptual idea. Anytime there's an opening and I don't know what's going on behind, I just want it to look like a black hole so that you can see the depth. So I usually just grab a black and I will put enough color on there that I can pick it up with my white so that you can see the depth of the space. So this would be the beginning of what it should look like. That gives you an idea. You're gonna be rendering the whole front facade. Every surface should have color on it. And with your first one, I want you to spend as much time as you need to getting everything colored in, applying color, making sure that your shadows are in the right places. Remember that, you're putting your color only on the shadow side and then you're blending it over with a neutral color. But you're gonna spend as much time as you need to on this first one. And then at the bottom, you're gonna put like 9 minutes or however long it takes you to do that. You can see at the bottom, I'm just driving in how much time. After you finish one of these, you're gonna do 3 more. You're gonna do one at 5 minutes, one at 3 minutes, and one at 1.5 minutes. So you will have 4 total of this rendering, and they should go pretty fast. So the second rendering that you're going to be working on is just a vignette. It shows, let me get this lined up again. It shows the side section and then it shows the front elevation. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll add some color over here just so you know what you're reading on this side. So this curved piece that looks like this, oops. This is actually this guy right here. So if you pull your line straight across, you should be able to see what's happening on this drawing in comparison to this drawing. So where this scrolls around tight, that's actually this piece up here. So you know that underneath here is going to be dark because light cannot get up underneath that area. The lightest part of this is going to be right here because it kind of bellies out and that's closest to your light source. So this is going to be the lightest area, kind of right in this area if you pull it straight across. And again here, it starts to bend back, so you know it's going to be dark again there. So what I do is I put in where I know it's darkest, and I'll just pull up a little bit on top and bottom. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit up here. And then I'm gonna get a neutral color and blend. I know that I want this area the lightest, so I'm gonna try to blend as much of this red down as I can. Might have to go back and add a little bit more, just to make sure there's enough color. So that it reads correctly. So now you can see that this piece is actually that piece. I'm gonna change colors just so you can see this okay. This, it's almost like a marquee or something. When you see these lines that are really tight together like this, that usually signifies that something is bending. So here you can see these lines, it's the same line showing it's bending. You know, this is straight across, so that's the same thing. So this marquee kind of comes out and then bends back. It's a semicircle. So just like we were dark here and here, where it's bent back the furthest away from the eye is gonna be darkest. And so that's gonna be on each end, and it'll get lighter as you get to the middle. So again, we're gonna pick up that color and bring it to the middle, kind of like this. Your signage over here, it's happening right there. It is just shown up here at the end as this vertical piece. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of color there. These are your windows. We're gonna treat those the same as we did before. And those will also be over here. This is the darkened in area. I'm not gonna do all this because I just showed you how to best blend that in. And then, you know, you've got whatever this material is back here, and it can be really whatever you want it to be. I'm gonna do the same color down here at the bottom. Just kind of break up the color a little bit. Use the white to pick up the blue and blend. Remember not to brush it with the side of your hand because it'll look like that, and you don't want to say that's why you blow. And it's just a lot of scribbling back and forth till you get things the color that you want them. Hoping everything is in. Again, up here, I'm just adding, there's no right or wrong color because we're selling a concept. So it'll look sort of like this. So the first one can be unlimited time, and then you just put, you know, 8 minutes or however long it took you. And then you will do 2 more. You're gonna do one at 4 minutes and then one at 2 minutes. So you'll have 3 total. So you will have 4 total of the first rendering and 3 total of this one. If you have any questions, you can always email me or let me know. And this will be due at the beginning of class period next week. So your hands are gonna be nasty, your fingernails, everything. So again, work somewhere where you can clean up, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.